Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Super Dark Times. And this is still a 2017 film. I got to watch this on Netflix, and please listen to the title. This is a dark movie. And it's about two young friends who are in high school, and they're hanging out with these other kids, and something bad happens. And they cover it up. And so the psychological getting over this and dealing with this situation is the driving force of this film, while trying to be a regular kid and growing up and falling in love and dealing with some other things that start popping up in this town. And boy, is this movie crazy. I actually really enjoyed this a lot. And well, right off the bat, I'm going to say this is very much a genre film. It is, for some reason, they put it down as a drama, straight up drama on Netflix, and I don't really agree about that. It's definitely a thriller, and I feel like this is a very well done thriller. And this is directed by Kevin Phillips, and the way he directs this film, I think the biggest thing positive you could say about what Phillips does in this film is creating an atmosphere and an ambiance of dread. This feels so dreading throughout this whole entire film, and really, from a storytelling perspective, utilizes a lot of hallucination, kind of dream sequences to really flesh out what's going on in this main young man's head, dealing with all the things that have happened in this film. And those scenes are so powerful and so unnerving, and really gives you a sense of what's going on with this character, and then dealing with all the other things going on, balancing the story and different characters, and not giving away too much until it's needed, which is a good thing because it builds up some suspense and really gets you guessing about where this film is going. Because this film didn't go where I was expecting it to go, and that's one of the best things you could say about a film. And as long as it sticks that landing where it does go, I think that's really important, and I felt like this film did. And there's some very tense, powerful... I was sitting on the edge of my bed watching this film and being like, holy crap! And like being engrossed in it up until the very end. And this film, it moves a bit slow, but it's always building tension, and I feel like that's important in this film, especially what this film's trying to say. And this was shot by Eli Bourne, who's the director of photography or cinematographer for this one. And I think this is a very darkly gorgeous film. And for a small budget kind of teenage drama, you would expect kind of very generic, here's the cinematography, but they use very saturated look to it, where it's like a dark and looming way of looking at this film. And the imagery in it, and especially in these dream sequences, where it really builds like this dark world for us. And I'm going to keep saying dark, should keep a counter on how many times I say dark during this review. And just building up this unsettlingness, and that's really important for how this film is shot, to keep building that up. And there's how this is edited and put together, keeps you on edge, and this is brutal, and it goes places. This was written by Ben Collins. Sorry. And this was written by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski. And this is a very intriguing story, and where this story goes, I wasn't expecting, and I feel like that's a really interesting thing. And how they flesh out these young characters, because you really get a sense of where they're at in their lives and where they want to go, and how this event affects where they want to be. And I think that's really tough, and what it does to our characters in this, especially our main character that we follow throughout this film, and him dealing with this situation, which he didn't directly have anything to do with what happened, but like he witnessed what happened, and him trying to fall in love with a young woman that he has strong feelings for, but not being able to feel like he can connect because all this crazy stuff going on in his life. And those are some really powerful things. And the dialogue can be, and they're teenagers, and honestly, this feels a lot more natural than a lot of other films that deal with teenagers, and the dialogue feels pretty natural, and it's just like, okay, I can dig this, I can get into this and feel more connected with this, because a bunch of nerds, I can connect with them. They make all kinds of like science fiction references and stuff like that. I'm like, haha, I know where they're coming from. And the themes of this film and what it deals with, on some level, it's a pretty straightforward kind of creepy psychological thriller. It doesn't take on like big worldly kind of ideas that kind of elevate this past a genre film, but it does deal with like the growing up and those themes in a very interesting way, and how you deal with things maybe not going the way that you want in life. Ben Frost, who was the composer for this film, made a really tense and eerie score that really built tension throughout this film, especially in those dream sequences. The music is so unnerving and unsettling, and all the way up to a climax of this film, it does a great job of building the tension and, for the buzzword, elevating a scene. Now, Owen Campbell plays our young man who stars in this film, and I think he does a really good job. And Charlie Tahan, who plays the best friend, I think does a nice job, and he's really creepy and unnerving. And Amy Hargreaves plays our main character's mother, and I thought she was very endearing. There's some of the other teenage, like the kid cast, that it's just like, weren't the greatest. They did their job. They went out there and did their thing. They weren't god awful and distracting. They just didn't work with the rest on the same level as some of the other young actors at the forefront of this film. It is a very tense and brutal drama that will thrill you all the way up to the finish. And please go check this out on Netflix. It is very brutal and very violent, so just warning you, if you couldn't tell from the title, this is super dark times. Now, I'm going to give this film a B.